I do not have a script for this, only handwritten notes. And this isn't the first time I've tried to record this, but I will stutter, sentences will be fragmented, and I will struggle to come up with the words sometimes, but I will do my best to make sense. I want to talk about gaming in general. No, not the kind you go to a casino for. That's something totally different. I've never done that. I have no desire to. I'm talking about things like arcade machines, computer games, or machines, consoles like an Xbox, a PlayStation, or a Nintendo. Things of that nature. Gaming isn't a type of thing where you love it or you hate it, there's a middle ground. I know some that love it, I know some that despise it, and I know quite a few that are in the middle ground on it. If you've seen me around before, you know I love video games. I've been gaming for nearly 20 years, as I've said many times recently, so I, of all people, do and should know lots about it. And I have my reasons for liking it. Of course, just general surface level stuff. It's fun. It's fun to do. It's good for killing time. Yada yada yada. Sure, you all understand that. But on the deep level, I've found real-life advantages in gaming, from my youth even to this day. I'm gonna do this by comparing video games to other forms of media like film, television, books, etc. Say a book, you read that, you don't see much other than the words on the page. Some books have pictures, but that's not so common in my experience nowadays. A film or a TV show, they're pretty similar. You just watch whatever's on the screen, and that forms a story of its own. But a video game is different because not only are you seeing things on the screen, you have control over some or all of what takes place. In other words, you're actually doing something, rather than just watching something happen or reading about it off a page. You gain actual experience. And I know full well, from my own observations, that experience is the best teacher. And you remember more when you actually experience something. So you can create more memories from gaming that leave a greater impression. And I personally find it more enjoyable than just sitting and watching something or reading about it. Which may be a little bit ironic, that statement, because I watch YouTube videos all the time still. But I definitely prefer actually playing the games. And not to mention, you can learn actual knowledge from video games that you might not have known before. For example, a game might use a term you've never heard. Now you've heard it, and you've applied context clues to the matter, now you have a new term you can use. That's always nice. And children can learn from games as well, if they start early. Like, for example, this Bookworm Adventures game that I really like. I played that when I was really young, and it's a good vocabulary builder. Like, you can try out different combinations of letters, trying to make a word, or what you think is a word, and then if it takes it, then... or I should say, if the game accepts that as a valid word, then... well, you just learned something. Other media can do this too. An age-old saying is that people learn from books. There is truth to that. But when you learn from video games, in conjunction with actually doing something, you might even be more likely to remember what you learned from the video game. You probably will be, actually. In a lot of ways, video games operate on a similar concept to a book or a film or a show. They take you to a fantasy land. They take you anywhere you can imagine. You know, the age-old saying, again, is that books take you to many places, imaginary places, whatever term you want to use. Well, I think you'll find a film does that. You know, Cars, Radiator Springs. That's probably not the only Disney movie that uses that location, but you get my point. And another example in a video game is Garden Warfare 2 with Suburbia, Zomburbia, and there's others. Plenty others. Yeah, I think you get the point there. What I'm trying to say is, I suppose, video games are perfectly valid as a form of entertainment. They do much of the same stuff as other forms of media entertainment, and I'd argue they do it better in a lot of ways, and it's more impressionable, and it's more memorable. That is my random take on the matter. I hope it made sense, and I wish you well. Good night.